who knows when was the last time somebody's prayer was accepted.
Mm-hmm.
She also has the right to make her own choice of husband. In our generation, we see some fathers and mothers who force their kids to go marry somebody else that they don't want to get married to,
Because it benefits them.
because it benefits their parents, as if it benefits the child, right? And they don't care about it. We have some people who are forced to wear hijab. Hey, don't get me wrong, hijab is compulsory, I'm telling you. It's compulsory. It's a command that Allah has ordered us women to do. And
كنت تعانق دمعة الفكر تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير تحلق في ثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير ترى ما زلت.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum salam.
Welcome to another episode of Afin Ninja collabing with Challenge Choco. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I am Aisha and this is Yasin, and today we are gonna talk about the stereotypes against Islam and basically talk more on it, because some of these stereotypes unfortunately are also believed by some Muslims, especially Muslim women. So just want to talk about it and emphasize on when it comes to the rights of women in Islam, the rights that they have and all that. How they tell us that Islam is oppressive against or towards women and all that.
I already feel like you already started so heavy, and my number one on the list is very light.
No, it's okay. So yeah, we'll just go straight to the point. We'll try to keep this video very, very short, okay? I know it has the topic alone has a lot to to dive into, but we'll try to keep the video short, okay? So yeah, stay tuned, and if we miss out anything or if you have any more thing to add that we felt like we didn't add, just write it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for your support. Yes, and we'll start.
Yeah, so like she said, stereotypes, misinformation, misconception. People think, this is it, but this is not it. And I would just like to start off light. It just came like at the top of my head. We don't hate dogs.
Speaking of that, I saved one video today. I didn't watch it. I said I was gonna watch it later because I was driving when I saw it.
Yeah.
And then the person was asking, can they have a dog in their home
For like protection?
Yeah,
Okay.
but if the dog doesn't go to their prayer area. I said I was gonna watch it, but oh my god.
Oh yeah, as I was saying, we do not hate dogs. Most people think, Muslims when they don't like dogs. We don't hate dogs. They are a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of us are scared. Some of us just don't want them to be touching us. But we don't hate them. Okay, it's not like when we see them, it's like astaghfirullah. No, we don't. Another thing, we don't hate pigs. I'm not saying there's a difference between eating it and saying we like it. We don't hate it too. It's a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I'm not gonna see a pig and start throwing
exactly or killing it.
Makes no sense.
Yeah,
I remember when I started the first shift I had at the group home.
Yeah.
My first shift there, and then she was like, "Are you guys are not supposed to touch pig, right? Like you guys on stuff like that." I was like, "We're not supposed to eat it, but I mean I can cook it for the client." And then she was like, "Oh, just that the other Muslim that they had said that they are not allowed to even touch it." And I'm like, they're trying to get out of cooking it.
That's news to me.
Oh, they just don't know. But you're not allowed to eat it. Don't
That
consume it,
Yeah. So it's not like we see the pig on the side of the road and we run over it. No. Okay. We just don't eat it. You eat it, fine. You just
if
don't
you
eat
do
it.
that, you're gonna be arrested.
Yeah, I know, right? And okay, now on the list, the points, because this just came out of the top of my head. Number one, a lot of people, I think when I came here, people thought that I was Arab. Because they think, all Muslims are Arab. All Muslims are not Arab. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being Arab, because our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Arab, and Islam was basically introduced in the Arab world, like in the Arab world.
Yeah.
But yeah, Muslims are diverse. We have Muslims all over. So just because you see me wear hijab, I'm not Arab.
And also, even some people back home, usually people who are agnostics, people who are, still maybe a little bit defiant in the religion. I mean, talking about how we are following the religion of the Arabs.
Yeah, they say that.
Look at one of the famous black speakers who said that he left the deen because everything else was Arabized.
Yeah, that video I was so confused.
And it's like
he said Arab. I was like, when he said he needed to learn the language of the Arab to be Muslim. I was like, where?
I can barely speak a correct sentence in Arabic, but obviously the Quran has been made easy for you to retain it. There are many people who know the Quran and they cannot speak Arabic, so it doesn't necessarily mean that Islam is the religion of the Arab people. We have several knowledgeable Black Muslim scholars. You just have to look into it. And
I think today I saw a guy. Sorry for cutting you off. This guy said that I think the first Arabic book was written by a non-Arab person.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But it's usually the ignorance, and we think that it's the religion of the Arab, but that's very false. Islam is a religion for everyone. Even Allah said that the birds, all those are worshiping the creation, the mountains.
I know that we have Arab birds.
So yeah, don't think that just because somebody wear a abaya, they're trying to copy the Arab people. It's it's literally a piece of cloth.
I think one of the imams, the 4 imams, I don't know whether it was Hanifa. I think it's Abu Hanifa. He was Persian. I think he was not.
Yeah.
So we're not like there's nothing wrong. We're just saying that Muslims are all over.
Diverse,
Our Nabi was Arab. Alhamdulillah. I think even some prophets. Some of them were not Arab, right?
Yeah, some of them were not Arab. I think they were like, is it 4 or 6?
Yeah, so we're just expanding your horizon here, telling you that a Muslim can be. That is how special. That's why we're so special, because it's a religion for everybody. But now we're getting in serious matter. Another misconception that people have is that Islam oppresses women, and these are due to some practices that some Muslim societies have. So people think that Muslim women are oppressed, and I would like Aisha to basically dive into these practices of what these practices are. Girl, take it away. Take it away.
Okay, we live in a time where people do believe that Muslim women are oppressed, and honestly, can you blame them when it comes to how our own society treats the women? We have to also differentiate the people from the Islamic practices. What Islam says and what the people do are different. I have this notion that when Islam came and gave women rights, not everyone was happy about that, honestly. So a lot of people held on to that, their cultural biases against women. It's like when I'm gonna go out of topic a little bit, but it's like when Christianity was introduced in Rome, and the Romans did not want to accept it, but eventually they had to, because they were losing people. So they decided to mix it with their own practices and make their own. That is the same thing that some people are doing, and they are calling it Islam, and it's not Islam. You cannot mix your cultural practices that are against Islam and say it's Islam because you just want to retain those biases against women. No, women have the right to be educated. I know in our generation it's very hard for some of our men to understand that, but women do have the right to be educated, because Allah is gonna hold all of us accountable. Allah is not gonna see that you are a woman and be like, oh, why didn't you pray? You didn't know how to pray correctly and all those things. You didn't know look at when I made the video about ghusl, and a lot of women were in the comments like, wait, am I supposed to do this after this? Am I supposed to do this after my menses and all that? How to do it? And honestly, I'm glad people saw the video, alhamdulillah. But it was kind of a little bit sad, like we didn't know that. We all have. If we don't educate one another, how are we gonna know these things? Who knows when was the last time somebody's prayer was accepted? She also has the right to make her own choice of husband. In our generation, we see some fathers and mothers who force their kids to go marry somebody else that they don't want to get married to,
because it benefits them.
Because it benefits their parents, as if it benefits the child, right? And they don't care about it. We have some people who are forced to wear hijab. Hey, don't get me wrong, hijab is compulsory, I'm telling you. It's compulsory. It's a command that Allah has ordered us women to do, and men also, they have a different hijab, but when you have to teach your kids the love of hijab, because when you force your kids to wear hijab and they don't have the love for it, when you pass away, that hijab is temporary. It's gonna go away, because now they're no longer scared to put on the hijab. So I've seen some sisters who will say they took off the hijab because it was forced upon them, they were being oppressed and all that. And I'm not gonna dismiss that, because I know that it happens, but because of society, it's not a deen. The deen, Allah has actually commanded us to do it. You cannot say that, like salah. Allah has commanded us to do salah. It's compulsory, but people are not doing it. Some people don't pray, you know. But then when people are not wearing hijab, we basically crucify them. But we don't crucify people who don't pray because we don't know about it. Another thing also, I don't know if I should go on and talk about this, but it's the honor killings that we have in some part of the Muslim nations. You know, I think usually this comes from Pakistan. You know, I don't know that should I call them Asian? No, not. I don't know. I don't think Pakistanis are Arabs. Middle Eastern.
Girl, I don't know.
But the honor killing we have in our society, Allah Akbar, I can never understand that honor killing. You know, you feel like your daughter has brought shame to your family. Okay, you kill her. Is the shame gonna go? No, it doesn't reverse anything. And you also sealed her part of repentance. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect. She's gonna sin. She is not perfect. No matter how our parents want us to be perfect, we cannot be perfect. We're gonna make mistakes. Allah said that we are gonna make mistakes. We're gonna sin. But we have to go back to Him for repentance. If you feel like somebody committed a shame, even if it's zina, there is no point of you taking their life. I have seen a case where a woman and her fiance went out for dinner with her friend. So there was somebody else. It wasn't like just the two of them.
Yeah.
Her friend was there, and then she got home. Her brother, her cousin, and her father, they unalived her because they said she brought shame. She was not married to him. It was a fiance, and then she, like, subhanallah. You reprimand them for it. You take the life of your daughter. That man is there. He's still alive. He's gonna marry somebody else. You know. So when we do this honor killing of women, Islam came to stop the burying of girls. Before Islam, the Arab people in those days, they were burying their daughters. Islam came to put a stop to that. But we are still doing it in other ways, talking about they are bringing shame into our family. Subhanallah. Meanwhile, some men are out there, they've slept with people in the street and all those things, and they are still left to be fine. You know, so because of this thing that some non-Muslims see, or some people who have not heard of Islam, when they see this thing, they will think, oh my God, this is what their women are oppressed. But it's not the deen. We have to be able to differentiate the deen from the culture, because it's not, aside from that part of the world, other parts of the world, we don't have women being killed and stuff like that. You know, and there are Muslims there, you know. But yeah, these are just a few of the things that our own society, our own people do to us women that make other non-Muslims think that us women are oppressed.
The unaliving women, it also reminds me of like kids too. When a baby is born and they basically unalive because it's a girl in the family. Like what is a girl gonna do for us? And you have some society tell you that a girl, like you said, the education part, a girl is just here to be born, learn how to do chores, get married, go have babies, and listen to the husband.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of the woman. So society, like I just said, because of some cultural practices, and I don't know why it's so hard for some people to actually to actually see that this is deen and this is like this what the person is doing. But okay, it's unfair to say that.
Yeah, because
it's unfair.
They are brought up into that.
Exactly. So she said a lot of things. Hijab is mandatory, but it's you, and that doesn't make if hijab is not if hijab is mandatory, but your daughter is not wearing it, you have no right to force that, like to go and basically physically force. Because we're not gonna sit here and pretend and lie and say, oh, there are some Muslim women who are not being forced to wear hijab. Of course they're out there. I've seen a video where the woman was literally crying, and they were putting on, it was not even hijab. They put on the hijab. I don't know whether they call it burqa or they put on the thing. They put on another one that covers the eyes and everything. And she was literally crying. And I was trying to understand what is going on. And they were saying, oh, she's being forced to wear the hijab. So just because it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do it, it does two wrongs does not they do not make how do they say it? Two wrongs does not make a right. It does not. So just because it's mandatory doesn't mean you force somebody, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is gender roles.
Yeah.
And they use this example of, see, the Quran says الرجال قوامون على النساء. Basically, Islam is giving more priority to men than women. And I'm like, it's beautiful how when you don't understand things, because men and women are equal in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Physically, we're not. Even two women are not equal. We are equal in value, that we should both respect each other. We should both,
Oh,
protect.
really? Men are supposed to respect us? I didn't know that. That's news to me.
That's Islam. We are equal in value. That is Islam. We're not equal physically. That's impossible. We're not equal when it comes to responsibilities. A man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the man the responsibility to take care of a woman. They just have a bigger responsibility, right? To take care and to provide. And honestly, I wouldn't want to provide. I want to sit down and be provided for. But you see non-Muslim using this. Oh, you see, the man is responsible. He's the man of the house. So basically, you are beneath him. No. And look at this. They're the caretaker. They are caretakers of women. And normally, when you are taking care of something, what does it mean? That something is value.
Precious.
Exactly. It's precious. So they are taking care of us. But now, you see some people, because they also see some Muslim men, الرجال قوامون على النساء, they go up with their chest talking about, oh yeah, the Quran says I'm responsible for you, meaning basically I can do whatever I want, and they abuse that qawam. They use narcissism and use oh, I'm the man of the house, and they just mask it with, I'm the man of the house, I'm doing the right thing by forcing you to do things that is not basically Islam. And you see some Muslim women actually think, because I had somebody reach out to me talking about, but sister, in Islam, but their famous thing, if you say no in the bedroom, no matter what, the angels are gonna curse you, and if he says you're not gonna get out, no matter
What
what.
kind of nyaka hellness is that?
Exactly. And I said, sister, a true man, wallahi, a man.
Patience.
Exactly. When a man, a true man, is doing something to protect you, you're not gonna see it as forced.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know that this man loves you and this man wants to protect you. I think that it's now women are more like, not all of us, but some of us, like we get like, we have this stance of I don't want to say defensive, because we
Yeah.
see how we're being treated.
Yeah.
People come and use the deen, use the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to abuse you. I always say this, some Muslim men, and mind you, we're saying some here, some they use Islam to basically abuse us. Women, we only use Islam to basically get our rights. When we want to talk about our rights, we use Islam. So when other people see this, women are being forced to wear hijab, that's why you see other people telling you, oh, were you forced to wear that? That's the first thing they ask you.
Yeah, I
Bec-
got asked that.
Yeah,
Oh my
because
God.
I'm like, I always want to say, I was forced to wear this. If I was forced to, why would I choose to rock this outfit?
Right. Matching the styles.
Exactly.
matching the-
Wearing these expensive abayas. So you see some society forcing women to wear hijab. See some men beating, thinking that it's actually okay to beat their wives, be harsh to their wives.
Yeah, there was a Twitter discussion of men talking
Yeah.
about how it's okay to beat your wife.
See, forcing
Subhanallah.
yourself onto your wife just because you misinterpreted, just because you took an ayah out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we were doing the tafsir last Ramadan,
Mm-hmm.
the beating part,
See?
it was when that is usually when you suspect your wife of infidelity,
Mhm.
and that one they didn't just say beat her.
Exactly.
It says like stay away from her, and if that doesn't change, and stuff like, and it's like, hey, you can, but don't leave a mark on her.
Mhm.
But we see some people, they literally they leave marks on their body and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it's like, I'm sure I still lack some deep understanding when it comes to that tafsir,
Mhm.
but you've never heard any case of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hitting his wife. Look at that story when Aisha radiallahu anha was slandered.
Yeah.
Did he just go and he
I know,
jumped on
right?
her
No.
and he beat her up?
No.
No, he just kept telling her, just ask forgiveness and Allah will forgive you and all those things. But he didn't really, and he was sad about the whole thing.
Mhm.
But you didn't see him getting all riled up and beating her up and all those things. But in our generation, Allah
I mean, even Ayub alayhi salam, when he made an oath, I forgot what the wife did, and he
she
made
went
it. He
to
prof-
sell her
Oh
hair.
yeah, and he took an oath saying that when he gets better, he's gonna strike her with 100. And when he got better, he didn't wanna, but because
He made an oath.
he made an oath, so
Yeah.
Allah told him to use grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see.
And let they not leave a mark.
Thank you very much.
You
So
know.
this
And
is yeah.
I found out last week
Mhm.
that the word qawwam
Mhm.
comes from the word qayyum.
Ayub.
You know how we say ya hayyu ya qayyum
Oh.
birahmatil
That's
astaghfir.
great. Yeah.
And then qayyum, when Allah is being qayyum, from the explanation,
Mhm.
how Allah is a sustainer, He is basically providing all those
Yeah.
things. it also comes with emotional support, because Allah is our safe space.
Yeah.
Your husband is supposed to be a safe space.
Yeah.
Your wife should be able to go to you because she feels safe, physically, emotionally, and financially, of course. you know.
Yeah.
But something else society, the only thing is, oh, get up. You have to get up. Sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down. Get up.
Basically,
sit.
drill sergeant.
No.
Yeah.
That's not it. Honestly, like they should really make crash course when it comes to marriage. Honestly.
True. So the people thinking that, oh, Muslim, this is the way of Muslims, is actually because of some of us, because of how we act, and that's when these people will come and try to give us rights, because the rights that we have are not being given to us. And I always say this: we have divine rights. Muslims, women in Islam have divine rights from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Allah gave us rights a long time ago. We were not allowed to inherit. Now we inherit, and this
then
is,
some people
some people actually be
why am I
saying,
inheriting?
"Oh yeah, thinking that we're abused because we're getting lesser." I'm like, you get what you get, and you're still being taken care of a man. How just is that?
And not just that.
Yeah.
If like for me and my sister and Muhammad, if we get inheritance, it's gonna be divided into half, right? My sister and I are gonna share the half, and Muhammad's gonna take the half. But Muhammad is still responsible for me and Khadija.
Exactly. You've been
And my husband also is like.
Exactly.
You as a woman, you're always being taken care of. If it's not my husband, it's my brother.
Yeah.
Your money is your money, and your brother also probably has a wife and has kids, and he has to take care of his kids and his wife also, and he has to take care of you also if you're unmarried. And then we'll still come and complain why we're getting less. Bro, you're not even being given in the first place, and now they're giving it and you're still complaining.
Yeah.
And also it's like, you as a woman, somebody's always taking care of you. And I know in the feminist region, it's like, oh, I can take care of myself. Oh, halas, if you want to take care of yourself, go ahead. But this is a right that Allah has. This is a privilege, a right that Allah has given you for you to enjoy. If you want to go struggle and do it, go ahead. We have rights. And when men complain to me about some of this, I'm like, hey, if you want to complain, please take it to God. I didn't ask you to do any of these things. It was commanded to you by your Rabb. The Rabb you said you worship and follow, he's the one who's asking you to do all these things. So I don't have an issue. Go. If he comes and say that, oh, you're not allowed to do anything, it's okay, khalas, I will take it.
Yeah. The people that are supposed to basically give us this right are abusing it. That's why people think, oh, women in Islam are abused. But wallahi, Islam has given women so much value. Like Islam stopped the unaliving of daughters. Islam allowed women to inherit the right to education. You get married, you keep your name.
You have your choice.
Yeah.
To choose your husband.
Thank you. You keep your name.
I told you
Mahar is your right.
It's your right.
Yeah.
I was reading this thing about incels, and they are talking about how a woman choosing her own, partner is injustice to them. Like some of this was literally angry that we can choose who we want at this point, and then they're talking about a woman not giving them access to their body. It's reverse RAPE to them. I'm like, this is okay, and this is mentally okay,
It's
but we
crazy.
have so many choices as women, honestly. Like, of course, don't abuse them. Of course, your mahar is your choice. Like I said last time, if you want to ask for the heavens, ask away. But just know that
You keep on listening to us. We'll be singing with you.
just know that if the man cannot bring it, he cannot bring it.
Just because it's halal doesn't mean you go overboard.
Don't abuse the rights that has been given to you. And that's what some of our men also do. They abuse the rights that have been given to them. Of course, you have a right over your wife, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the right to make her life miserable. And I was telling today about the story of Umar radiallahu anhu, and how he was like very tough and fierce. This man was tough and fierce. This is a man that enemies of Islam, he's like, the Prophet said, give me permission, I'll basically make them meet their Lord right now. This is a man, when I keep forgetting, was it Hijrah or Umrah?
The last time I remember you were talking about, you said Hijrah, until I was trying to figure out whether Hijrah is the month or something.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. But when he was going, he was like, if any man wants their mom to lose a son, or if any man wants their wife to lose a husband, meet me at this place at this time. Here, basically he will send you back to your Lord. But this man, when he became a Khalifa, I found this out yesterday. But when he became a Khalifa, There was an instance where he was walking and then he heard a woman crying, yelling. Actually, she was wailing. He rushed in and then he saw this woman was in labor, and then the husband of the woman was there, and the husband didn't know what to do. So Amr radiallahu anhu ran to get his wife to come and help the woman give birth, and then he also cooked for this woman that is not his wife. He cooked for her. He was on his knees. He was boiling the fire and everything. Subhanallah, you know. But in our generation, it's like if you do that, oh, you're a man. Your wife has to be the one. Like subhanallah, this is a follower of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you can imagine what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to also do in his home, you know. But then in our generation, like no, he only mended his clothes. He only mended his own shoes. He did not help his wife. How is it even? They make it seem like it's even a sin to help your wife.
I sometimes do you know that there's some Muslims who reject the hadith? Like I think they're called Quranists.
Oh yeah, Quranists. Yeah.
They will tell you, nah, we're just gonna focus on what is.
But it's okay if you want to do that, because the Quran also can prove that to you. Because like I said, the word qawwam has it's not just about you just being, you know, above women. No, you are the one in charge of their safety. And safety, that word is a huge word. Emotional safety, financial safety, physical safety. Learn all those things first. Don't just use the word and then oppress women. And then non-Muslims will think that women are oppressed. And some Muslims even be feeling that, oh my God, like they don't have anything. But it's because people are restricting these rights.
Mm-hmm. Other stereotype that we get is Muslims are violent. They're terrorists. And we know media, they're doing everything they can to just push this narrative. But isn't it beautiful how every time somebody goes out there to basically make Islam look bad, they end up being part of the religion.
I was about to say it's beautiful how the media has given more dawah than
wallahi
than some
say that again.
Because a lot of people, they will tell you, oh, after like, you know, 911, you know, that is them. They didn't know about Islam until after that.
You said it like that? Okay, cool.
They didn't know about Islam until after that incident happened, and they looked into it because they were hearing the media talking about how the religion is this and that and violent, all those things. And they look into it because they also are curious. You know, human beings are curious. You know, you hear something, you want to find out. Oh, wait, is this real? You gotta read about it. And then they became Muslims after that. I'm like, at this point, should we even keep giving dawah? The media is doing it for us.
I know. The more they try, the more they just bringing people in.
Esma told me the ayah in the Quran, because me and him were talking about it yesterday also. I forgot which ayah it was. I don't know if it was Surah Ahqaf. But how Allah was saying that when they try to not they say bad things, but I'm not gonna say the exact ayah, but they try to spoil the name of the religion of Allah. You know, but girl, I'm gonna look for it when she talks, because I want to say something that
But yeah, if anything, Islam does not condone violence. Wallahi, you know, sometimes you're watching a movie and somebody is executing somebody and they're saying Allahu Akbar. I'm looking at them like, yeah, we see what you were doing. That does not, Allahu Akbar does not make you Muslim. Does not mean that you're part of the deen. So you see this in movies, how they're trying to push, how they're trying to make Muslims look. But that's or how they're trying to make Islam look. But that's not Islam. If anything, Islam encourages us to defend ourselves. And I hear a lot of people talk about, you see, when you read your book, you guys were into war. You wanted us to fold our hands and just sit and allow the enemy to come and take over.
And if you look at how they don't look at how the war started.
Thank you. I think in Mecca, the Prophet was calm, like stayed quiet. I think for 35 years? I forgot the number of years. Yeah. 30 or 35, I forgot.
But as soon as it's
being abused,
payback, and it's like, oh my God.
Wallahi, the Prophet went through so much trauma. If we're talking about trauma, depression, if we're talking about being scarred for life, it was the Prophet. This man was spat at, rocks. His friends were being unalived. His children, he lost his children. He lost his first wife. So many things happened to the Prophet, but he never gave up. You know, I saw was it yesterday or the day before? There was this guy who was talking about, I think he met a Turkish boy, and he asked the Turkish boy, what are you gonna do what are you gonna ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when you meet the Prophet, what are you gonna do? So he's gonna thank him. No, actually they ask him what is he going to ask the Prophet, and he said he's gonna sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said he's going to thank him. Like, why? And he said how the Prophet, despite everything he went through, he never gave up.
Yeah.
And because he didn't give up, the Deen came all the way in Turkey and found him, and he's Muslim. And I was like, subhanallah, wallahi, it's so sad when you see some people the length they go to show that this Deen is violent, but wallahi, this Deen is not. And sometimes you don't even want to debate, because you don't want to debate with people, because they come to be condescending. They don't want to learn. They just want to. They just pinpoint. You know how they pinpoint one thing and one narrative, and they just try, and they're not even gonna let you talk.
Because they just choose it. I think some people they just go and say which part in the Quran says violence. And because if you look at those parts, those are always in the defensive action. Because obviously, if someone breaks into your home, are you gonna sit down and be like,
right,
hell hi? No, you will defend your home.
You defend yourself.
You know, Allah never said get up and start beating people up. And I saw Trump's compilation talking about how Muslims are the problem in this war. They are violent, blah blah. And I'm like, yo, like let's not even start when it comes to that topic. You know.
Yeah.
But anytime there's anything violent in the Quran, it's all in the terms of defense. There's no part in the Quran that says go and start killing people. It's always and the defense always in terms of war, because you don't expect in terms of war. Which place do you see in terms of war they're just in now?
I know. I want to know too.
No, no matter what you have, you defend yourself. You know, you have to defend your
Islam
family.
says defend yourself.
And you look at how Islam is beautiful. We have some people in terms of war, they come for after women, they come after children, they cut down trees. Islam says these are out. Animals, do not touch those. Say, make sure that your women are safe, children are safe. Do not cut down trees. Like Islam has this thing to even tell you in the terms of war, think about the trees also. Which religion has that? But anyways, so you cannot say that religion is violent just because somebody decide to come and do misinterpret the religion in some other way. And also there are some extremists. I'm not gonna lie, there are some extremists in the deen, but in the religion, among the Muslims. But you cannot say, oh, Islam is what is asking them to do that. They also have misinterpreted that religion, you know, and in a very extreme way.
If anything, Islam teaches us to respect and basically be kind towards all people. And you know, this talk about Islam is violent only comes when somebody defends themselves. Look at that issue of that girl whose hijab was pulled, and she basically defended herself, and people were like, yeah, so much for a peaceful religion. I was like, honey, you expect me to just stand there?
You harassed me.
Exactly.
You put your hands on me. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, no, don't do that.
It's also recite Fatiha for them.
Oh, don't do that. My dear, don't do that. Please, no, don't touch my... If I punch you out...
Yeah, Islam condones, encourages you to defend yourself. Not to go and attack anybody, but if somebody attacks you, you defend yourself.
It reminds me of my client at work.
Yeah.
He's been so rude, and I just keep ignoring. You know, one time he wanted me to help him with something. I came to help him, but then he was rude, so I just cool my side, because I'm not a Prophet Sallallahu. I'm not the Prophet Sallallahu. I'm far from him. I cool my side, because no, you're not about to do that. You're not about to do that nonsense to me, you know. And after like 2-3 months, he was complaining about it, and I told him, well, I came to help you, and you were being rude to me, so I decided to just, you know, respect myself and move aside. And he's like, and then after that was it, and I was praying, and I heard him, yes. You that is so typical of you Muslims. You were being rude to me.
We cannot win.
I decided to cool my side, but then I'm the one to be blamed, and my people are the one to be blamed.
Yeah, we cannot.
I'm like, bro, excuse me, no. So yeah, it's like you as a Muslim, you have no right to be angry. You have no right to be reactive if somebody you know, like troubles you. And it's like, no, I'm still human. I'm still human. If you pull my hair, I will break your teeth.
Because some will use that to basically attack you. Oh, I'm gonna go attack that girl because in their religion,
I will break your teeth. Okay.
But yeah, for me, that's all I have about like the stereotypes that people have, the misconception about Muslims. When they see Muslim, they think this is it. And the biggest, like we said, just recapping here, number one, we said, you know, people thinking that all Muslims are Arab. We're not. We're all over. You know, Indonesia, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa. We're all over the place. Now, every corner you go, you find Muslims. Islam oppresses women. Islam does not. Some Muslims oppress women. It's not the deen. Muslims don't have right. We do. Baby girl, we have divine rights. the Creator gave us rights 14 plus 100 years ago, before anybody said anything about rights. We got rights from the Creator. Being forced to wear hijab, that's the stereotype. Oh, she's a hijab. No, yes, some are being forced, but it's mandatory in Islam, but it does not make it right for you. Just because somebody is forcing someone does not make it right. It's not right for you to force someone, physically forcing someone to wear the hijab. Muslims are violent and terrorists. No, we're not. Some people are, but it's not Islam. That's not Islam. And Muslims are so kind. You have some, like, I'm not gonna sit here and just pretend. In every, like, how do I say it? Every society you have good and bad. But our job here today is to say that whatever negative thing you have to think about, you have to say about Muslims. Remove Islam, remove Islam there. It has nothing to do with Islam. Like, if I come here right now with my hijab and everything, and I commit something very bad, don't even think about Islam. It's on me.
Like,
the deen is perfect. I am not. We're not perfect. So that's not also it's not an excuse to go and do something.
Yes,
no, we're just saying that the Islam is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Perfection is perfect. No, it's not flawed. But the ones who follow the deen are flawed. Yeah.
I always refer back to the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, when the angels came to deliver him the good news of a child, and also deliver him the bad news of the people of Hud, Lut. And when the angels came, in the form of men, and he received them, and he got his best sheep. Sacrifice it and cook, and this angel's not even ate. I'm like, first of all, I'm looking at you like, why did you come unannounced to my home without telling me? And it's how he didn't even complain. He just basically took, and I was like, Aisha, you need to change. Because I'm looking at it like, why did you come to my home unannounced without telling me? But no, he didn't do any of that, So even in Islam, we learn all from the Prophet ﷺ, but all of the prophets are there they're all Muslims, we believe that, and then they're all there to teach us something. Because him just taking his best sheep for someone for people that he didn't even know, because he didn't know by then they were angels, and he cooked for them, and they didn't even eat. I'll be there like, hi. I cook for these people, and they never touch
you don't even cook.
I don't even cook.
First of all, you are here unannounced.
Right, yeah, I'm
like, so are you guys census?
I don't even open the door. But it's because us humans, we are flawed, we are flawed, but the deen says that when visitors come to your home, of course, visitors also the deen also has rules for visitors. Don't make sure you're to people's homes unannounced. But as Muslims, when someone comes to your home, you should, be hospitable. And I think that's why a lot of Muslim countries are hospitable. Look at Gambia. Look at Senegal. You can literally go to somebody's home if you're hungry in Gambia. Wait until lunchtime, you go back into somebody's home. They'll invite you to come and eat.
They will force you.
They'll force you.
I want to go home. No.
I remember one of my classmates. I went to her place to study, and then they cooked a heavy meal. Like the mom said, "I will not get up." The mom said, "I'm gonna keep eating." I was like, whoa, I'm so shy, but she made me eat, and I think it's because of our cultural practices and also our Islamic practices, because I know some African countries that, I'm not saying they're not hospitable, but compared to Gambia, bro, I'm yet to see a country that is as hospitable as Gambia.
Senegal for you.
Senegal also, and also I'm sure all the Muslim countries, but it's because of the deen.
So the deen teaches you to just basically love, respect, defend yourself, like to the point that you respect your neighbor. Look at, I think it was one of the imams, I forgot, he had a neighbor that drank, and he would yell, and I think he would either call out Allah's name and say like bad words or something, and he never did anything like mean to that man, until I think one day he didn't hear, and he went, I think the guy passed out or something, and he took him to the hospital and everything, got him ready and sent him back. And I don't know who asked him why he did that, and you would think that he would talk about something like what he said. It was very unexpected. He said because of the alcohol, he didn't want the man uttering like Allah's name because of the alcohol he drank. He was looking at it from that perspective, like that perspective. I'm sure I kind of maybe missed or forgot exactly the case, but he never judged the person. He never went there to the person's apartment to disrespect the person. That's just not what the Islam is. Some Muslims do it. That's them. So try. What I'm advising everyone is try. Like if you're not a
I
Muslim,
know I'll have been there fighting like,
I
hey,
know, right?
okay, you know.
Yeah. So try to separate Islam from that. I know before you see Muslims and you see Islam. Now, unfortunately, that's not the
Yes,
case.
there was an imam that said that,
Yeah.
you know, unfortunately,
Mhm.
when he came to the West, he saw Islam, but he didn't see Muslims.
See?
But he went to the Muslim countries, he saw Muslims, but he didn't see Islam. Because us Muslims now have debated so
Yeah.
much when it comes to the deen.
Because now we do shopping, we pick and choose what we want from the deen. We do fatwa shopping, we do basically, oh, this is the ayah that I'm comfortable with, I'm gonna go with this. You don't do that, you don't pick and choose. If that was the
Yes.
case, the Quran would have been changing, but it has
Yes.
been the same 14 plus 100
Yeah.
years ago. And the Quran does not sugarcoat. Islam doesn't do anything sugarcoat.
No.
It tells you how it
It
is.
tells you how it
So
is.
you know the truth, you act upon it. So if you are not like Muslim, non-Muslim, separate. Try to, when something happens, try to take, like, separate the two. Islam is perfect. We're human beings who are trying to basically practice this perfect religion, and we're gonna falter because we're flawed. So I know the people, other people, that's what they're waiting for. We make one mistake and they just switch. Yep, Islam.
I mean,
Muslim
if
people.
a Muslim makes a mistake or does something bad, for sure we should hold
Yeah,
them
we should. Yeah,
accountable.
definitely, for
Because,
sure.
yeah, we should
But
hold
what
them
I'm saying is just
accountable.
try to don't because I hear some people will leave Islam because of how another Muslim did them dirty. Some will talk about how things are like it's so bad because of what a Muslim did. And I was like, this is the time you sit down. It's like, for example, you go and get married to a Muslim man and they're so mean, and you see somebody who's not a Muslim and they're so good and everything, and you're like, well, see, what's the point of this deen when that's the man. I mean, it's very sad that he's doing that. He should practice the deen, but it still does not make it right for you to go out and marry somebody who's not.
Yeah, don't go.
Who's not Muslim. Honestly,
two wrongs don't make
yeah,
it
two wrongs
right.
don't make it right.
You know.
So last thing I'm gonna say again: separate Islam from the Muslim.
And us Muslims, if we think that all these stereotypes are hurting us, we should start acting right.
True.
Men
Some of
should
us
start-
we cause them.
Yeah, men should start acting right. Women should start
Start
acting
acting
right.
right.
We all should start acting right. If you
Mhm.
think that you love the deen of the Prophet ﷺ, the deen of Allah, you love this deen so much that you get hurt when you hear things like this. Of course, people are gonna say it. People are gonna make up things about you, but at least you act right, so that on the day of judgment, you're not going to be a reason why somebody
Wallahi.
saw Islam in a negative light. You're not going to stand the Prophet ﷺ and have to basically tell him that you are there misrepresenting the deen.
And the fact that we are, I was listening to a lecture. We are representing basically the Prophet.
Yeah,
Sallallahu
you're misrepresenting
Everything.
it. You're here lying on Allah's name, saying
Yeah.
Allah says this when Allah did not say that because of your own gain. We need to be truthful to ourselves.
Wallahi.
Islam tells us that we have to stand for the truth, even if it's against ourselves.
True.
And I know it's hard, but if we do the right thing, we will not have to
Mhm.
stand. We will not have to stand against ourselves because
Mhm.
we're gonna do what Allah asks us to do. I know people are like, "Oh, it's my life, my choice." Okay, but know that when you go out, you're representing the deen, whether we
Wallahi.
like it or not. When I wear this hijab, I'm representing Islam.
24 hours, man.
Tell me, I have not thrown hands.
You never clock out.
I have not thrown hands because I'm trying to think at the back of my head that I don't want another person to come and see that and say that, oh, Muslims are this and that. Because some people be trying me every single day.
You reminded me of that post I said. You know how many times I'm tempted to steal, but I'm there like Allah is watching me. Just today, I came and I wanted to drop something in the trash, but my car was a bit fast, so I dropped it and it dropped on the floor.
Yes.
And as I was removing the seatbelt, I was like, Ya Allah, it's just for you. This is for
Yeah.
you. It's not the right thing. I have to pick it up.
I also have my tissue paper fall on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, the wind will blow it. I'm like, Aisha, Islam tells you not to litter.
Yes.
And as Muslims, we should not litter the
No,
environment.
honestly, if we
you
practice
know?
the deen, the society will be so much better. But because we're not practicing it, that is why things are getting so hard. That is why the ummah is going through so much hurt, because we're not practicing. We're choosing. Some of us are doing culture. We don't know anything
Yeah.
about the deen. We're doing culture over deen. And I think we forget da'wah is not only through word of mouth. Your
No,
actions
your
also
actions-
give da'wah.
Your actions are even
Yeah.
more important. Like
Wallahi.
I always said, when it comes to tahajjud,
Mhm.
my father, I don't remember my father ever telling me to wake up for tahajjud.
Yeah.
But because of his actions,
Actions.
his actions of waking up for tahajjud was what encouraged me to wake up for tahajjud. He didn't have to say it. So it's the action. You can sit down and be like, wake up for tahajjud, and you're not doing it yourself. But it's the actions that you do. You can sit down here like Allah said, do you preach righteousness when you don't do it yourself, when you don't practice yourself, You can sit down here and tell people give charity when your hand has been cut here. When you don't give charity,
Basically,
sit
forget
down-
about yourself.
Forget about yourself. like, you know. But anyway, so that's all. We just need to practice our deen. It's hard. It's really hard. Our nafs are gonna come and, you know,
go against
be
your
there,
nafs.
but we have to strive and, you know.
And
so
comment down below, if we I'm sure we forgot we forgot other stereotypes, but comment it down below. Be a better Muslim. Be Islam. Represent out there. You every time you want to do something, ask yourself, would this I mean, obviously with or without you, Islam is gonna look good because this is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But ask yourself, is this the Islam way of doing things? If it's no, don't rock it.
If the Prophet was here right now and he see what you done online, name calling people for little things, not minding your business, being in people's business for things that don't concern you, you can give dawah in their DMs in a nice way. But just they're calling them these bad words. I see some Muslims be calling some sisters or some brothers, usually sisters, some really, really bad words.
That's another thing that makes it hard because already outside we're being, you know, they're being hurt and stereotypes are coming in, and in the community we're fighting each other.
Ask yourself, this comment that I just said about this person, I know some people don't think too far, but really ask yourself and really be honest with yourself. Is this something that when the Prophet sees, if right now he was alive and he sees, he will smile and he will hug you? The same man who they were, the woman that he was helping was saying bad things about him, but he never said anything. Do you think if he sees you saying the same thing to your fellow Muslim, or the white people say Muslim, he will be like, oh, my brother?
Because that man never took anything personal. You know what I love about the Prophet?
Yeah.
Everything he does, he says, it's all out of like
the benefit of us, the ummah. For
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing out of his own heart, like just say, oh, I want to do it. No.
I'm angry. Look how they did to him at Taif. When the angels came and asked him to say the word, and he would turn, they would turn the art over.
You know, I would have been
before they even complete that sentence, I'll be like, yes. But he said no, because he said maybe their children will accept the deen. You know, but us mom, it's okay, because I feel like I'm just gonna keep talking and talking.
But like I said, comment down below for any stereotypes and work on yourself. Self-reflection is ready. Before we look outside, we need to work on ourselves. You know, because sometimes we tend to focus on other people's flaws and we don't see ours. And wallahi, we're all flawed. We have so much. So when you start working on yourself, you're not gonna even worry about Fatima or Abdullah's faults. Because you're gonna
look at the imam. That some people are coming after him. He's an old person. Okay. He said when you see 10 faults in a day, turn your eyes blind to 8. But no, us want to talk about every single thing. You see somebody,
and it's us that we are not we have the worst. We are the ones talking about it.
Yeah, turn your some things honestly.
Yeah, some things are very petty. We focus on petty things.
Very petty.
We honestly do.
You know, we have some sisters criticizing each other. Oh, you're wearing skirt, you're not wearing the correct hijab.
Wallahi,
you're wearing collars, you're not wearing
you be judged for wearing pants. I'm not saying go and wear it.
Of course, but it should not be tight. You should observe it, you know. But not even pants. Sometimes skirts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing her face. You should not touch. You should not show your face. When you know for sure there's only one madhab that says it's compulsory, but we don't even think about all that, you know. Because
our problem is the moment we see another Muslim, the first thing we see is their skin color, their clothes, their hijab. We don't even see the person. We're scrutinizing and seeing what to pick out. You watch a video and that's why I don't even like opening comment section. To you, the video is fine. You open the comment section, somebody's telling you, look across from the other side of the video, this is showing. I was like, how did you even spot that? Now, no one saw it. Because of your comment, everybody sees it. But I believe this is the 5th time we're saying goodbye. But anyways, I promise you, this is it. Comment down below. Again, I'm saying this again. If we missed any or if we forgot any stereotype, and work on yourself. Be the best Muslim. Better. Yeah. You know, be the best Muslim that you can.
Good role model.
Because you are part of the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the best.
You want him to smile when he sees you, not frown and turn his back towards you.
He was the best in behaviors, everything. So this was fun.